we are looking at repeated increase and decrease. By the end of the lesson, you will understand what is repeated increase and decrease, and you'll be applying your knowledge of percentages and your new learned idea of what repeated increase and decrease is to solving problem. I'm going to illustrate repeated increase and decrease by using one example. Let's use repeated increase as an example. So in terms of, let's say you're running a small business, maybe a cafe, selling coffee and selling coffee beans and food and whatsoever, you will sell your coffee beans to the customer at $65 a kilogram. When you get your supply, you bought roasted coffee beans from the coffee roaster at $40 a kilogram. See, that's already an increase. You need to make some money. Your business has to be profitable. What about the coffee roaster? He needs to make some money as well. So he would import probably the raw coffee beans at $20 a kilogram and sell it to you at $40 a kilogram. And the farmer overseas who are actually planting the coffee beans, they sell it at $8 a kilogram. So you can see that there's an increase from $8 to $20. From $20, an increase of to $40, and then you increase again to $65. You can see that each time with this increase, there's a percentage increase in there. So let's have a look at an example. This example illustrates repeated increase could be in terms of inflation or some other reason, such as the rent of the shop being increased. So here, let's start off with the price of electric frying pan, $100 in 2017. And then there was an increase in the price by 8% at the end of the year, followed by an increase of 6% in 2018 and further increase of 5% in 2019. So what is the price of the frying pan in 2020? So from $100, it has increased 3 times. So let's have a look at how we work this out. Alright, I'm going to illustrate this pictorially first. In 2017, the frying pan was $100. And then we add in 8%, which is $8. And the price at the start of 2018 would be $108. After a year, could be due to inflation, like I say, or could be due to rent increase, the shopkeeper decided to put it up by 6%. So this time, you know that 6% of $108 is $6.48. And therefore, at the start of 2019, the price is now $114.48. Now, at the end of 2019, the shopkeeper decided to put it up by 5% again. And here, the 5% of 114.48 is actually $5.72, or actually is 5.724. So the price of the frying pan at 2020 would be 114.48. Right, let's now look at this in terms of a table. We started off in 2017, the price is $100. So we know that 8% of $100 is 8, therefore it's 1.08. Now, let's write it in a different format. It's 100 plus 100 times 0.08, which is 8% of 100, or we can factorize it by taking the 100 out, which means it's 100 times 1 plus 0.08, which is 100 times 1.08. And therefore, at the start of 2018 is $108. So an increase of 6% at the end of the year is 6.48. So the total price will become 114.48. And this is the way I can write it out, which is 108 plus 108 times 0.6. Or straight away you can think of as 108 multiplied by 1.06. Now, 108, if you work it out from here, it is actually 100 times 1.08. Therefore, you can see that's 100 times 1.08 times 1.06. Similar situation in 2019 as well. Here, we have 114.48 times 1.05. And 114.48 is actually made up of this. Alright, so therefore, to summarize it, the price in 2020 is actually 100 times 1.08 times 1.06 times 1.05, which is $120.20. If you don't believe me, pause the video for a while, use the calculator to work it out. Now, to make it a little bit easier, when we have repeated increase, we multiply the original amount by 1 plus X%, which is the first increase, 1 plus Y%, second increase, and 1 plus Z%, third increase. Could be a fourth increase and fifth or sixth increase. So whatever it is, you just go on and on and on and on. Alright? And then when you go back, is divide by. From the final amount, you divide by the original amount. Alright, let's have a look at another example. This time, the example is talking about the growth of a rural community. So population in a rural community was 3,521 in 2010. Since then, the population has increased by 4%, 3.2%, and 8% for the next 3 years. You need to calculate the population in the rural community after 3 years. In fact, this sort of information is really useful when you come to plan for the future. So let's have a look at how we would do it. If I do it step by step, at the end of 2010, the population will be 3521 plus 3521 times 0.045, which is 4.5%. Alright, which is 3679.445. Now, this is the intermediate calculation. Therefore, I'm not rounding it up or down yet. So, in 2011, I use this number, 3679.445, to work out the final number as 3797.187 at the end of 2011. And this is actually 3.2%. Again, 2012, this is 8%. And we use this number to work out the final population. Since we cannot have 0.9 of a person, we therefore round it out and answer the question. The population of the rural community after 3 years would be approximately 4101. Or, if you want, you can use the formula I showed you just now, which is the original amount multiplies by 1 plus 4.5%, 1 plus 3.2%, and 1 plus 8%. And therefore, you get the same answer. Now, let's have a look at repeated decrease. Same thing happens. This time, we multiply by 1 minus X%, 1 minus Y%, and 1 minus Z%. So from the original amount, you reduce it by X%, reduce it by Y%, reduce it by Z%. Alright, when you come back, it's divide by this formula. Alright, now I'll illustrate this by an example. This time, let's talk about shopping. During the Christmas sale, a set of cutlery was discounted by 30%. At the end of the sale, the cutlery set was further discounted by another 20%. So if the original price of the set was 120, what is the final price? So, go back to this diagram. You know that the original price is 120, reduced by the first amount and then reduced by the second amount. So, if we look at doing it step by step, prices after first discount is 120 minus 120 times 30%, which is 120 times 0.7, and it's $84. And then the second discount is 80% of $84. Therefore, it's $67.20. And the final price of the cutlery set is $67.20. Or, using the formula, the final price is 120 times 0.7, which is 1 minus 0.3, which is 30%. And this is 1 minus 0.2, which is 20%. And you get the same answer, 67.20. And the final price is 67.20. And finally, the last example. We are going to look at finding the original amount. In this case, a clothing shop discounted a shirt by 40%, 45% a month ago, and now has discounted the reduced price by a further 20%. So if I bought the shirt for $61.60, what is the original price? So let's define a pronumeral. Let P be the original price of the shirt. So the final price equals to P times 1 minus 45%, 1 minus 20%. We know that the final price is $61.60, so we can write this equation out. 61.60 equals to P times 1 minus 0.45 and 1 times 0.20. And we can work out 1.0.45 is 0.55 and 1 minus 0.20 is 0.80. So you know that 61.60 is 0.44 times P, and therefore P is 140. The original price is 140. Or you can use the way I showed you, which is the final price divided by 1 minus 0.45 times 1 minus 0.20, which is 140, same amount as you calculated. So we know that the original price is actually $140. Alright, this is the end of the lesson.